Welcome to the Film Garage 208 podcast. My name is Sarah, and this is Daniel.
Hello.
Hello. Today we have with us Brandon, who is the owner of Muscle Mentor Fitness and Balanced Health Idaho here in Idaho Falls.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to the podcast. We had a kid vacuuming outside the door, so we just restarted.
Yeah, we were like 5 minutes in, and he just, out of all the rooms, this building has like 400 rooms, and he's vacuuming outside of ours.
At like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Okay. Anyway, tell us about what your business is, Brandon.
Sure. Okay. I own a couple businesses. I own Balanced Health, we're located over in the Empire Strength and Fitness facility. We do a number of rehabilitative services like chiropractic. We do membership-based chiropractic care. We do stretch sessions. We do other targeted muscle therapies and a couple other things. But the chiropractic has been kind of what we've been focusing on the past year or so, and getting that membership up. And the way that it works is that we have it's just a $19 a month monthly charge, and then you can come in as often as you want for an $18 chiropractic adjustment. And so instead of paying out of pocket anywhere from $45 to $65 for an adjustment, or paying a $25, $30 copay, we got it down to under the price of a usual copay, so that you can come in as often as you want for an $18 adjustment with a low monthly charge.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
It's like a Sam's Club card.
You like a Sam's Club card? Yeah.
And then you still pay for the $18 each adjustment.
Correct. Yep. So we like to pretend it's kind of like Netflix, where you can turn it on, turn it off whenever you want. You can pause it, you can cancel it. No questions asked. We don't like to put people in contracts and rope them in. Feel like it.
So if you're just having something bad happens at work, and you're like, oh, I tweaked my back, and you go in, and
come
you're
on
having
in.
a month where you need it more.
Sure. Yep. Exactly.
Start right back up.
And it's the reason we have it priced as what it is because even if you came in once a month, like if you had some reason to come in once a month, you're still paying. It's still cheaper than a $45 adjustment, and so you can come.
True.
The more you go, the more it's worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And is that common pricing amongst other chiropractors? Like you're the 45, not the the subscription, but just the outright.
Just
pricing.
the outright, the $45. I would say it was more common 5 years ago. So
has the price gone up?
The price has gone up significantly. I have noticed a lot of chiropractic offices will charge somewhere between $55 to $85 per adjustment.
Yeah.
So that takes like an hour of your time?
No, and that's why I don't think that it's necessarily worth it at that price, because it is
a hot penny.
It's a hot penny, and a lot of people are in there for maybe 10 minutes. And so I don't necessarily agree with charging that much. I would feel a little bad to charge $75 for 10 minutes of someone's time.
Right.
And it's I think it's just better to do it this way, because you don't feel like you're required to come in. We don't put people on like 6-week dedicated plans where you're paying $2,000, $3,000 for a 6-week plan. We're just like, hey, it's casual. Come in. No, don't make a big thing. It's like you got an issue with your hip, or you got an issue with your shoulder, and we just we're going to help you get to the root of the problem. We're going to try to strengthen the areas that need strengthening. We're going to need to adjust the areas that need to be adjusted, and we'll fix it as we go. But I don't want to have you commit to something when you don't need to commit to anything.
Yeah. So you said you're not the one actually being a chiropractor.
No, I'm not the chiropractor. So my degree is in exercise physiology, and so I focus more on the rehabilitative muscle therapies. And then what I really love doing, I love training people. I like to help people build muscle. I like to help people diet down, lose fat. I'd like to focus on that sort of thing. And so I incorporate that as
like in the gym, like you're with them, or okay.
Yeah, both. I train in the gym. I'm with Empire Strength and Fitness. I do personal training in there, but then I also have an online program. I've got different online packages where we can do one-on-one training, whether it's remotely or you're in the area.
So you're really just selling yourself with those ones.
Yeah.
Like at Empire Fitness, is that you selling yourself too, or do you sell?
Selling myself as in
the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sell that myself, but Empire does tend to provide leads as well. When they come in the door, somebody's looking for a trainer.
Yeah. With that. Nice.
That's nice to have that partnership. How did you get into Empire? Or when did that happen?
So it happened. So they have their new location now, and so their new location
huge.
It's huge. And it's going to get bigger because they're only utilizing half of the space right now, but they'll eventually move over to the other half of the space where my office is.
Oh.
but I got in with them through one of the owners. His name is Scotty, and he had contacted me because he was looking to just collaborate with different businesses in the area that were of similar business. And so we saw that there was a place doing chiropractic and therapies and stuff. And so he contacted me on Instagram. He's like, hey, you want to come over and make a video? And we made this dumb, funny video. It's still there. But it's
invites you over to make a video.
He literally
How do you make friends?
He's
like, you want to come over and make a video? What?
Was it on his phone?
No, he's got a nice camera too.
Okay,
so
good. So
he's got a setup.
Not like weird.
It wasn't weird. He's like, let's come over and we'll collaborate. We'll make a video together. It was fun. And we kind of instantly hit it off with him and the other two owners too. And so Scotty was the one recording the video, but I was in the video with Garrett, and we made just this funny video of like, hey, check out Balance Health, hey, check out Empire, and we just shared it on each of our pages. And then just because we hit it off so well, when I realized that they were moving into their new space, I brought up the idea that like, hey, what if, do you need any space rented out? Like I could contribute a little bit, and I could put up an office in there. Yeah. Help. I want to be a part of this. Literally.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him about it. We worked out some logistics. And I moved in with them. I built the walls myself. First time ever constructing anything.
Good and they're still up.
And they're still up. Yeah. And they want to actually build offices on top.
You're
which
like,
I want to check that.
Yeah, let's put up some support. They're done pretty well. My dad helps me out actually, and he's done. He built his own house from scratch.
So what was it? Just like the empty warehouse type space?
Yep,
Concrete
floors, and so we built the walls around it. It's really stable. But we yeah. So we I promise it's stable.
I feel like the fact that you had to talk about it makes me question that.
Okay, but,
so don't question my construction.
Just don't lean on my walls.
So yeah, we made some deals with them, and I'm super happy to be in there. It's super convenient for the office because we get people just walking in from the gym.
Yeah.
And they've got these big power lifters over there, and they're throwing their backs out all the time because they're lifting these huge boulders and stuff.
True.
And I'm like,
you're in the prime spot.
It's a pretty ideal demographic. They come over here and they're thrown out, or they need some sort of muscle rehab, and we can put them on some programs or something to help them out. But so it's nice to utilize the gym in that aspect because I was in a basement before, and it's not as easy to get business. Marketing's a little bit more difficult when you don't have a floor level place, and so just being on the ground level is nice.
Where was it before?
It was over by Costco. I guess they're both kind of by Costco, but
so it was like an office building.
Yeah, so it's over. If you know where iJump's at, it's right across the street from iJump.
Okay.
Okay.
There's like a state farm in there too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that wasn't great.
And how long were you there before moving into Empire?
About a year.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I bet you were so excited to get out of that.
I'm way excited about our current place.
Because that's your first year in doing this business, right?
Yeah.
What were you doing before that?
Just personal training. I moved back here. I went to school up in Rexburg until 2020, end of 2020. And that specific year was a blur. And so I was doing an internship for school out in Boise, and I ended up moving there for a little while, and then we moved back. I moved back to Idaho Falls and started up the clinic here.
Sure.
So.
And you thought it was like the perfect demographic and area for this clinic?
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, there's some degree of saturation with this sort of business in Idaho Falls. But it's not saturated in the way we do it.
Yeah.
You don't see any other membership style offices that work like this. There's maybe one or two other ones, but
yeah, no, that's really cool.
Yeah. So why a chiropractor's office? Like why?
Yeah.
Out of all the things you could have done with exercise and physiology,
it was actually not my intention to start a chiropractic office because I'm not a chiropractor.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't do the adjustments.
How do you get into that?
So my dad is actually a chiropractor, and I was doing my internship with him out in Boise. So it was with him. And so when I moved back to Idaho Falls, I wanted to start my own business. And he kind of wanted to expand his business and incorporate this membership around the state, around close by states. That hasn't happened yet, but we're looking forward to doing that in the future.
Yeah.
But he had proposed the idea that we open up this clinic and he would help me open it, and he would do the adjusting and provide that membership service.
That's awesome.
And so he kind of integrated the service. He has all the program for it. He wants to actually start talking to other chiropractors and integrate his membership program into like other offices, because it seems like people enjoy it more than being put on a plan, and people are retained a lot longer because they're not roped into something. They're not contracted for 6 months, and then they just give up.
Great.
Yeah. And
like,
so
I've wanted to do that, but like it's like the medical field where I'm like, do I go in there?
it's like a
insurance
doctor.
does it?
Yeah. It's like sometimes it covers it, sometimes it doesn't.
I don't know. I'm scared.
If they do it, it'll cover like 12 of them a year or something like that.
Oh, really?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, it depends on the insurance. And so sometimes there might be some that allow you for unlimited with a copay, but I know that there's a lot of them that allow for a certain amount per month or a certain amount per year that you can go in and get it covered.
Yeah. But would you have to get like a recommendation from like your doctor to go and even do that? 'Cause it's like you have to jump through hoops a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the insurance plan, and so the insurance plan is like, if you want it added to your insurance, you can have it covered as part of it.
Typically not something on most insurance
Yeah.
plans.
No, not all the time. I think there's you got Blue Cross, and there's a couple other ones that will cover chiropractic visits.
Really doesn't matter anymore since you have the monthly subscription.
Yeah,
Exactly,
like
because you're going to be paying
insurance.
like the same amount,
Yeah.
or less with us than on a copay.
Yeah, that's super cool that your dad saw this idea too.
Yeah.
And he's like, great, this is a perfect like pivot.
It is a good
It's
pivot.
perfect.
Combo
Yeah,
for you guys.
Perfect.
He ran his practice differently for a lot of years. He kind of
Yeah.
ran that original chiropractic route, and he just after doing the insurances and all the programs you need to bill for insurance and paying for someone to actually do that for you, you're basically making the same amount anyway. So why not just remove that employee?
Yeah.
And
Just cut it out.
not firing an employee, but like just don't ever have the employee.
Yeah.
Save money there, and
Yeah.
then just charge that lower amount, and you make the same amount anyway. And then you don't have the headache of insurance is not
No, I
paying
love
you
it.
out for a year.
Yeah.
It's just it's less of a headache.
It's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a
It's
good
a
idea when
way
you hear it.
easier sell.
Way easier sell. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
he ran his business out there for a number of years. He was out there for probably 20 years running the business. He ran it membership style for probably 5.
In
and
Boise or?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
And then he moved here with you to do this?
No.
Or no?
well, he goes back and forth actually. So he
Okay.
commutes every single week to
Stop.
come out and help me adjust. And so
So people just schedule accordingly
Yeah, is it
to when he's here.
scheduled?
yeah, well, so he's here Tuesday through Thursday. So we just let everybody know the
my
chiropractor
goodness.
is Tuesday through Thursday. So you can schedule the muscle stuff with me Monday through Friday. But if you want chiropractic, it's just the Tuesday through Thursday right now.
Is it walk-in or appointment?
You can. Yep. You can walk in. We prefer appointments just because it's easier.
Totally,
But
yeah.
if you walk in, we get tons of walk-ins from the gym. They
Yeah.
just kind of walk in. So
That's awesome.
Have you
Wow.
noticed a lot of crossover from people who train with you that want to use the chiropractic or vice versa?
yeah, that's the idea is you can use both. And, you get people training in gyms. I just barely started redoing my personal training. I wasn't for a while. I was just kind of doing online for the past year. And as of like
Online personal training.
yeah. And then as of like 2 weeks ago, I contracted with Empire to actually start in-person training.
Oh,
and so that's
cool.
the idea is that they'll
Yeah.
use both things.
Totally.
That'd be
And
nice.
just right in there in the one location.
Yeah.
I'm just curious with the online training, was that better or is the in-person training better, like profit-wise?
Profit-wise,
Like, was there a real incentive for you to start the in-person training?
it's different. Profit-wise, it can be the same online. I think if you're good at online, it has the potential for more. Mainly just because, you have bigger reach. You got, you're not limited to Idaho Falls, and you can incorporate a lot more people into a smaller time frame. You're not like physically training someone for an hour, so you're not limited to doing 6 or 7 clients a day. You could, you're providing online services to 20, 30 people at the same time, and so the profit wise, they're paying you a monthly amount, and so it's simpler. But
So even for
like the
online
same-
training, you would give your time to them for like Like, are you there on a Zoom call or something?
Yeah, sometimes.
So you're not just giving them like a piece of paper.
No. It's much more elaborate than just a piece of paper. You do like, I've done it a couple different ways, and I try to find what works best with the clients and what they like the most, and what seems to be what I prefer is I provide them the customized training program. I provide them nutritional coaching, whether it's through tracking their nutrition or whether it's providing a meal plan up to their preference. And then doing a weekly check-in via email where we can provide like, weigh-ins, progress pictures, and then at least a monthly or bi-monthly video calls.
Pretty sure.
Check in. Yeah,
Sure.
I think so. I think it might be both. So we do that just for more of an analytical part of the coaching where we can go over like, hey, we're tracking your nutrition and we've been eating at this X amount of calories and your weight has been fluctuating like this. We're seeing a downward trend, and so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Or if they're trying to gain weight, we're seeing an upward trend at a good rate, so we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And if we're seeing a trend that we don't like, we adjust the calories, the nutrition.
And you help them assess all of that stats and what's happening. And
so that's why the video calls are pretty important.
And with your background in exercise and physiology, did you do like a part on dieting?
Yeah.
It's like you're very familiar with all the nutrition side of it.
Yeah. There was a whole nutritional biochem module that I had to go through.
Great. So you can really address like all angles of this thing. Yeah.
Because you've done like bodybuilding back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Sometimes, because he had
like in high school.
a coach or a trainer or someone.
Yeah, no, he was a good trainer. I'm trying to think of like.
But I'm like, he was kind of more hands off. It was from a distance. Old school training.
Yeah,
old school.
sure.
Because he was a bodybuilding coach. So he kind of, and he was doing his own thing. So he would like train people on the side. So his focus was always kind of like half there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really good. He knowledgeable guy.
He had knowledge.
But it was definitely just like on paper. It was just like, but it was a different time.
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Like a long time ago. It was in college.
But no, those follow-up meetings were always like helpful, and the touch bases were always my favorite point, but I only got like one a month. So it was always like, I was wanting more always.
It's more the accountability, I guess, that you have someone who's looking at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like,
and each client's going to be a little bit different. It's hard to be like, hey, we're going to do this many video calls a month, because some people are so on it that they don't need a video call. And you analyze their trends and they're like, you're doing great. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And it's nice to touch base and ask questions that I can answer. But there was, with a few clients that I've had in the past, it's like, I'll go through once a week video calls. I used to do that. And sometimes it just felt a little fluffy. Like, I'm like, we're just kind of talking. Hey. Maybe it's fine. It's like, we're touching base. I'm still here. I'm still watching what you're doing. But monthly or bi-monthly video calls, and then always keeping on track through emails and sending through analytics that way, or going through a training app. That always seems to be pretty helpful, as long as you're staying engaged with the clients.
For sure. I can see what you mean by like the weekly being like kind of like fluffy, or just like not there. Because you don't see the progress like week to week. It doesn't happen like immediate like that.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes maybe it's like a once a month for a while, especially someone who's or once a week for a while it's just getting started, especially someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. And then we're like, okay, we're getting some momentum, and then we'll back off. We probably don't need a weekly call, but we'll go to a bi-monthly call or something like that.
Okay. So what type of clients are you seeing? Are they like the bodybuilder folk, or are they just everybody?
I like everyone. I see a lot of different types of people. I think the bodybuilding thing is more of what I enjoy doing. I enjoy that style of training. I enjoy that style of coaching. But I'll see anybody. I see people who have been overweight for a long period of time and are looking to lose weight for health reasons. And I'll see people who are looking to build size, and we're just trying to bulk them up, put some muscle. It's usually like teenagers in high school who are just trying to get as jacked as they can. And those guys are fun. They're very fun, and they'll do anything you say. And so it's like, you guys will just, they're always on point. So
just eat it up.
It's kind of trendy right now to
I'm sure
to like do that sort of training.
Well, great. Perfect for you then.
Great. That's fantastic for me.
You'll always have some new teens.
Yeah.
Ready
Did you play sports or anything growing up?
So Yes.
Like how'd you get into all the training?
Sure. In terms of sports, growing up, when I was a kid, did the soccer phase, didn't do that for super long. But then I wrongfully got into basketball in high school.
Wrongfully.
I realized how short I was. And
happens to all of us.
It just wasn't for me. Coach pulls me aside and says,
"This isn't for you, son.
I don't know if you're going to play very much this year." And I'm like, okay.
At least he was honest.
He was honest, and it got me out of basketball.
Right.
I only did it freshman year, and then I got the sit down sophomore year. And so I actually, back when I was in between, like in middle school, I took a couple tumbling classes for like gymnastics, and I was like, this is really fun. And I did it for about 6 months to a year or so. Didn't get super far learning back handsprings and stuff like that. But I had one of my best friends in high school. He was like, I'm going to learn how to do a backflip. And we were like 14. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do a backflip too. So I started getting into just kind of doing flips and tricks and stuff like that. And then I ended up being like, I kind of like gymnastics. And so I started late, very late. And so I didn't ever end up competing, but I trained with the competitive team for a number of years.
Yeah, if you're like 14, 15 by then.
I'm pretty old for starting gymnastics, but I love it.
Yeah.
And so I trained with the competitive team. I never did competitions, but I loved it. And I got pretty good at it. And it got all my little brothers into it, and they're way better.
Yeah,
they're
in
like
gymnastics.
They're phenoms. They're
wow.
crazy.
They had more time to practice.
They had more time to practice, yeah, because I'm doing flips, and then my brother's doing standing fulls at the age of 7 in my living room, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, this isn't for me either.
I guess I did this for you.
Literally.
So I ended up. So I coached a little bit in high school. So I coached kind of a pre-team group of guys
for gymnastics.
Yeah, okay, like cool. A really young crowd, and then a kind of a recreational tumbling classes because I was really, really good at tumbling.
That's awesome.
But I wasn't great at all the other events. Okay. And so by the time I was in college, I ended up coaching over at Madison Gymnastics Center for I don't know, 3.5, 4 years or so over there.
Yeah.
And I coached the competitive boys team. And so I got to see a lot. I got to do a lot of studying of all the gymnastics, and I got to do a lot of the studying around building strength. And it was while I was in school, so it kind of went hand in hand, which was really nice.
Yeah.
So I ended up coaching the team that competes against my brothers all the time. So
did they win?
Perfect. My brothers are too good.
They're too good.
Yeah. Our team was great. Our team is great, but especially my youngest brother, he's hard to go up against. But
I bet he loves that.
Yeah.
Just holding that over you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's really good. They're all really good. I've got 3 brothers, and they're all just phenomenal. Their skill level is so much higher than mine.
That's cool. They're all doing gymnastics though.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The oldest of the 3 is out of high school now. And so he's doesn't compete anymore, but the younger 2 are always competing against each other.
Yeah.
And one of them took my brother Oliver took 2 or 3 years off and then came back and made it to nationals. So it's like,
good for you. Riding the bike.
Yeah.
Real time. It was a big deal.
Big deal. Yeah. They're amazing. So I coached gymnastics for another number of years. And then I ended up, once I was doing that internship in Boise, I realized that I kind of wanted to start personal training. And I was doing my internship in physical therapy under one of the PTs there. And I was like, I think I kind of like the performance aspect of things more than the rehabilitative side of things.
Okay.
And so I ended
more
up
fun.
Yeah, it was more fun for me. And so I found a gym out there with an old friend of mine has a gym out there, and he made me a really good deal to come and train at his gym. And so I was like, all right, I'll do it. I can probably make a lot more money this way. And so I kind of transitioned where I was working in the clinic for about 1.5 years. And then probably the last 6 months, I was transitioning over to personal training. And then by the time I had enough clients where I could hold my own, I just kind of transitioned out of the rehab space.
That was out of school that you had started that?
It was out of school. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was doing a little bit in school, not a ton, but I didn't hit it hard until I was about at the end of school, right after my internship.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Once your brain kind of switched from school to like thinking about life.
Yeah, I was like,
it's a switch.
It is a switch, and it's like I don't have to focus on all these exams all the time. I could put all my energy into actually applying it and making money with it. And,
it's a whole new world.
Taking care of my family. So
right. So you have a family?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Wife and 3 girls.
3 girls.
3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How old are you?
28.
And you have 3 girls. Damn.
We're the same age. Oh my god.
You're busy.
So, all right. I was married previously. So I was married for about 2.5 years to my first wife, and we had a daughter.
Okay.
And then we split up, and I met my wife, and she has 2 daughters from a previous marriage.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I only got busy once. And,
and you got 3 times the responsibility.
3 times responsibility.
Yeah.
And I love it though. Total girl dad.
No, that's great because we have a daughter too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Girl dad.
Nice. Of course, it's the best kind
of. I know, it really is.
How old's your daughter?
She's almost 2.
Almost 2. Oh,
yeah.
So she's still a little one.
That's so cute.
How old are yours?
6, 5, and 4.
Okay.
So
got a good range there, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're
Fun
best
ages.
friends. Yeah, very.
At least they're all close.
They're all close, so they keep each other busy, which is nice. And so
nice.
I know we split time with. I've got my daughter, and then my ex-wife has my daughter half the time. I've got her half the time, and so, my stepdaughters don't have her every single week, but it's like every other week. It's like we don't even see them. They're down
together.
in the basement, and we have a whole little playroom down there where they're just like.
That's great.
Their imaginations run wild down there, and they just play all sorts of stuff. So.
I love that. That's so sweet.
So since you kind of have like the 2 separate sides to the business, like how are you going to handle that going forward? Because you kind of mentioned at the beginning you want to merge them.
I do want to merge them. So the next steps going forward. You guys see
that? There's a spider.
Oh, did I kill it or?
No, just keep going.
We'll let him listen in.
We'll watch him.
Yeah. I just thought I'm like he's just going around.
He's just going down from the ceiling.
So. Yeah, I'm going to be merging them. I want to focus my personal business on more of that. Like I said, I have more of a passion for the performance side of things, of the bodybuilding side of things, of the strength training, all that sort of thing is what I love to do. And we started the clinic, and it was nice because the chiropractic has been such a focus to get us going that I think that it was beneficial to start it off that way, but. We're going to keep the chiropractic there. We're going to keep the membership there. We're going to do everything the same way, but I want to shift the focus a little bit to more of I like to help you perform better, and I like to help you build muscle, and I like to help you to lose fat or whatever your goal is. And then keep doing the more the rehab stuff. I love doing the stretch sessions with people. Some people are just so chronically tight that they need some initial assistance. I was
going to say, it's almost like you could make a package that includes that chiropractic service with the training.
Yeah, it's like you were in my meeting the other day.
Yeah, be perfect.
Because I mean, literally, you start working out and like you start feeling pains and aches, and it's just like
we're just going to include this in your package.
No, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
perfect.
So that's the idea, is that we're gonna have kind of this chiropractic membership, and we'll do the muscle therapies, the stretch sessions, whatever we have to do to help you. And I'll come up with some sort of package, and you don't even have to train with me in person. You can do the online package stuff
while still being there.
Being here. Okay. Yeah. It's like, I'll provide everything one-on-one remotely. And then we'll do, and if you want it included as part of your package, we can do a weekly stretch session. We can do any sort of targeted muscle therapies, like you're getting knots everywhere, and we can work those out for you too. But just kind of included as one thing.
And essentially, obviously, the training you can do anywhere, but for the chiropractic services,
so that would be a local thing where it's like, hey, if you're local, we can include this as part of your
unless your dad can talk to other chiropractors, get them in on the same thing, and then there's like this giant network of
people.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Is he wants to grow that membership base, and then I want to. You kind of treat me like I'm a client of that membership base. I'm just one of the offices that offer that around in the area, and but my focus is this Muscle Mentor Fitness, where I can help you. Perfect. Change your body.
Okay. You just started it in the last year, focusing really hard on this chiropractor business, shifting. What challenges have you faced along the way?
Too many.
Okay.
It's challenges along the way. Initially, our location was fine. It wasn't ideal
because it was just a chiropractor office.
Yeah, it's just we did the muscle therapies, and so
okay,
I did the stretch session stuff down there too. But we're in a basement level thing. Luckily, we had an.
Did it look dungeony or did it look clean when you like?
Oh, it looked clean. Yeah, we painted it.
Comparison, walking into this building can feel a little sketch. Like, did it feel like that, or was it like
maybe there were some comments coming down the stairs sometimes that we would
hear it.
but it's they're mainly from teenagers, usually just cracking a joke. But it was so my wife is so good at decorating, and so we painted the place. We had put up accent walls. We had put up the good furniture. We had a kids room down there. It was really homey when you got down into it.
Okay.
It was on an exterior door. It was covered too, so it's like you have a normal ground level door, but you immediately go down the stairs. Okay. And so that initially felt really dungeony.
That is
open the door and
you go downstairs.
Just the concrete stairs going down into the
like
dark.
Snowy
and it's
and
like, oh my word.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on down here? But my wife, she is the most dedicated person to anything that I've ever met.
Perfect.
And she's like, when we're decorating this office, she has a black can of spray paint.
Okay.
And she's spray painting the concrete stairs all the way up and all the way down. And then she painted the railings like a perfect white, so there's no rust on them. And so she's just totally designing this stairwell, just spending hours just spray painting a stairwell. And it actually looked a lot better. It's still concrete and it's still going down. Luckily, there's a little light at the bottom. So,
but it was better.
It was better, and we kept the bottom door open so that you can kind of hear music playing and stuff. We did everything we could to make it as homey as possible. But it was still concrete, and it's still down in the basement, and it's still a little bit hard to find. We didn't have any signage on the road. We didn't. We didn't even get any vinyl for the door.
When you got that location, like when you first moved in there, did you pick it because it was your only choice at the time?
It was my only choice at the time due to, what could we financially afford then for an office. So it was like, I can't, all the real estate the rents are wild right now, obviously.
Yeah, I think you were starting around when we started. I felt like I started seeing you around there.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. There's still nothing.
Even
There's
still,
nothing.
we've been looking for the whole time since we've started, and it's crazy.
Yeah. It's
there's some things like you said, but it's the financial where I'm like, am I willing to do that?
Willing to do that?
Because it's not worth that though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was affordable for us at the time. And so trying to keep overhead as low as possible, because that's what we were kind of going for, with the membership, not having to go through insurances, kind of kicking out all the fluff of all the other stuff so that it's simpler and easier to run. And so in order to do that, the overhead can't be too high. Yeah. And so we found a place that we could afford, and it worked for a while. And
you guys grew while you were there.
Yeah, we grew while we were there. There are months that were a little more stagnant, and probably by the end of the year, it was more stagnant than we wanted it to be. And so that's why I kind of had the idea to go talk to the guys over at Empire and be like,
that's great.
Way better to be on ground level, to be in a gym where people can just walk over. And
So when did you get in the gym then? That's kind of recent.
It's recent. Yeah. So we moved over when they moved over to the new location in January.
January. Okay, nice.
So I've been there for it's May, so like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
But
that's great. And you've seen dramatic growth
a lot
since
better.
then.
Yeah, it's
good.
Gotta bet you were so excited moving out of that dungeon to like a nice brand new building.
Yeah, brand new building. So we it has a lot.
That's cool.
A lot better of an effect on people, and we've got a big banner out. We've got the vinyl on the door, and
nice.
It's a lot better than being in the dungeon.
Yeah. So do you guys do a focus on social media, or how do you sell yourselves?
I love to do social media.
How do you stand out as a chiropractor? So everyone
just with
knows
unique
what a
business.
chiropractor is.
I think the unique business model stands out.
Yeah.
I think when people hear about it, that it's like, oh my gosh, like, is this are you sure you're charging this? And I'm like, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm charging this. And some people get a little bit, they misunderstand it a little bit, and you have to have the right kind of dialogue to explain how it works, because you'll say, oh, it's a monthly membership, and they're like, oh, so I just pay monthly and then I can come as often as I want. Exactly. It's like, well, no.
Yeah.
$19 a month for as many adjustments you want is not we're not going to say
when
business that way.
I first heard that too, I was like, wait, what?
Like, you should be concerned if you were getting unlimited for $19 a month.
Like, have I actually hired
if anyone does that, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So
as long as we pop something, we're good.
We're good. Let me just like push on you real hard. So making sure that people understand that it's $19 a month to get a discounted chiropractic adjustment instead of paying a huge amount out of pocket. You just pay the $18 each time. So yeah, I think that's mainly what helps us stand out. We do a deal of marketing through my wife's business. My wife runs the Falls Market here in town. She does craft fairs, she does expos, she does festivals and different types of events. She
organizes the whole thing.
Yeah, she organizes them. And so, you get people to those things, and then we have a booth at the event, or right now we're actually hosting the events in the parking lot of Empire Strength and Fitness once a month. And so you get tons of people coming through.
The Falls Markets are now going to be in the Empire Strength.
Yep. Yeah,
lot?
Yeah. Okay. So we had the first one in their parking lot at the beginning of May, and then we have another one a week from today.
Okay.
It's nice that it's right on the road there.
It's right on the road
for people just driving by to see all that. It's great.
Yeah, it's a lot better, because we were hosting the events in our old parking lot, and it was tucked behind like the what's that car place? The Majestic.
Okay. Yeah, that car dealership.
It's not a dealership. It's like a auto repair, Majestic Auto Repair, something like that.
I know which one you're talking about.
It was behind that, and so you can't see the tents unless you're coming at an angle off of the street. And so we did our best with the signage and what we could afford to do at the time. But so we would host them there, and you wouldn't get as much flow of traffic in that location, but having all the tents up right off of Woodruff, it's a lot easier for people to be like, oh, what's going on over here? Yeah. And we'll just go check it out. And so the last event was really good. Pretty constant flow of traffic, and then you get people coming in to see the office, and they see my big old sign on the warehouse. And
perfect, because it's right by there.
Yeah. So you open up the garage doors, and I like to, instead of having a tent, I just set up a table right outside my office, and like, here's my office. Come check it out.
So, great.
That
should bring a lot of people in.
Yeah, we get a fair deal of new patients from the markets, which I think has been a pretty big point of growth for us.
Yeah,
and that's initially. And if you have my wife on, she'll tuck your ear off about why she started it, but that's why she started it, was to help our small business actually get some patients, because we're like, man, we're just starting this new business, and we don't have any money to put into meta ads, or we don't have money to create these huge signs everywhere. And it's like, what do we do? And so if we start up a market and get people to the door. So
the alternative
work with what you have.
Work with what we have. Yeah, you got to get resourceful sometimes.
That was kind of like us with the podcast, like same difference, like kind of pivot, like a different thing that like relates.
Got to do like something.
Funnels.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all about it, because it's fun. Like, you have these like talents and skills, but it's annoying when you don't have the money to fund these things. And like, that's just such a barrier.
How do I get people to my door? Like,
literally.
We have this awesome program. We have all this stuff. And it's nice that you guys are doing these podcasts. Like, this is great. Like, there's so many different resources that you can use to help grow your business, that you just gotta find it.
Yeah,
right. But I love the idea of making fun events for people to come to. Yeah. That's my favorite way of getting business. I hate when businesses are like, come spend money here, like those events where it's like not like a Falls Market, like what are those events I don't like? I always talk about where it's
like women's market.
Specific, like okay. I just have some beef with it, because it's like the women's market specifically, because they invite women, but then they try to sell to them there. It's like they invite them to come spend money, where I'm just like, why can't women just spend money all the time? Why does it have to be a women's event? Women are already
spending money.
Yeah. It seems sexist to call this like a women's event.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's like, why make it so
specific?
I think it's kind of a weird niche. It's like, I think probably in their heads, they're thinking like, I'm picking a niche here, and it's targeting a certain demographic, but it's weird that they picked like a gender to do it.
But no, people do that a lot here. Have you noticed that?
But anyways, I like the events when
women.
events are just made to be fun and cool.
Yeah,
what you come to, not just like come here to spend money. Like,
yeah. No, it's good. That's good. Good stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk more to your wife about the marketing stuff. No, that's really cool. So, sounds like you do business a lot with family. Does that ever? Do you divide lines like with your dad and your wife? You know, how do you?
I am extraordinarily blessed to have the type of dad I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's such a good person to talk to when it comes to business and family and whatever the topic is. He keeps a good divide, and he is so well versed on what works and what doesn't work that if any sort of conflict comes up, he's a really good mediator
that's good
on being able to fix conflicts. And
like as a third party, even if he's
as
involved.
a third party, or if there's any sort of frustration at all, like he knows how to fix things.
That's good.
And
you can trust.
He doesn't just steamroll over you.
No. And he's been such a huge help with the business and has such good ideas that it's like, oh, we're gonna try this now. We're gonna try this now. We're gonna try this now. And whether or not like they've all been super successful, they're all always new ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, I just called him last night and he's like, I got this idea for the office because we're like, we kind of want to, switch it up. Like I'm saying, I want to transition to more of a focus on what I'm passionate about while keeping the same services, but so making it less doctor's office-y, but more of like my office is this muscle mentor fitness place where we can do all these other therapies and stuff. But he just had this. The thought isn't completely finalized, but so I can't exactly share exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Sure.
All the secrets.
More like they're secrets to me too, because I don't know them.
You're like,
so
it's all secret.
It's all a secret. Only God knows. And so he comes up with this idea like, hey, we should try this. And I'm like, that's actually not something I've ever thought of before. And it would work and it would help my situation. And so I'm just super grateful that I'm never in conflict with him. And
knock on wood.
Knock on wood. And he's probably the most gracious person.
That's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's important to have that support.
Yeah. He's said on multiple occasions, he would like give up everything to just if it would help me succeed. And it's a huge
So do you guys both do like the back end side of the business?
Yeah.
So
how do you divide that up?
So let me explain how it kind of works.
Yeah.
He technically he technically runs his own membership business. And so it's called Aperta Health. And Aperta. Yeah. It's
how do you spell that?
Aperta. It's Aperta. It's
Gotcha.
It's Latin or Greek or something, and it just means open. And so the idea is that we have this open thing where you're not contracted at anything, and you can come and go as you please. We're not trying to take all your money away from you for 6 months if you don't need it. And so it's like you just come in and do the service. And here's how we can do it at an affordable price. And so the idea is that I'm a client of his. I'm also his son, so he's helping me start up this clinic. And so he runs his business, which is the membership side of things.
Okay.
And then I run my business, which is the kind of the service side of things. Like I'm focusing on the actual things that we do in the office. And so I own my office, and he provides this membership and he provides the software for it. But he takes most of the profits from the memberships only.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, like if he's offering that service and that was the reason.
Exactly. So if you go around other chiropractors and you're like, hey, if we want to integrate this membership into your office, you'll make the same amount of money or more without having to go through insurances. He takes most of the membership cost, and then he always gives you. So Aperta will give you a kickback at the end of the month of like 20% of the memberships, so that you're motivated to add members to your thing, and then you're collecting more service charges. People are coming in more often because it's more affordable. It makes more sense.
And that's the program he created?
So that's the program he made. And so he does that in Boise when he's not here, and he does it with me when he's here. So it's kind of two businesses where it's kind of a client relationship where I'm a client of his. I offer this within my office.
Okay.
I just have the benefit of him being my dad, so he's helping me start it
Yeah.
up. So
do you try and like promote that for him, or would that be his job to promote? You're like,
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because there's like an 80-20 split on that membership cost that I get and he gets.
Sure. Okay.
I have some motivation, obviously, to get people in my office.
Okay.
And whether it's just getting people in to do the service charges, because I make
some percentage off of that.
I make 100% of the service charges. I technically pay him because he's doing the service for me. But when we have a different chiropractor, I'll just pay a different chiropractor.
Sure.
And then on his side of things, he heavily markets the membership thing so that people can, can be driven into the office.
Yeah.
And so
Just
it
more
benefits
funnels
everyone.
there.
Yeah.
For that side of it, for your dad, what demographic does he market to?
The demographic, so for a number of years, he focused a lot on pretty much anyone that needed it, whether it was people going through personal injury cases and stuff like that. He would do a lot of that, plus more of a lifestyle choice of patient. I don't think he really turned people away, but the personal injury cases are more difficult to work with because a lot of them are going through insurances. And so,
I see.
Like if you get in a car accident and you're injured really badly and you want chiropractic care, it's, you're doing it more often. It costs more money. And so, a lot of people like to go through it because a lot of times when you get in an accident, the insurance is going to cover
a lot of people that come, or is it safe to say that most people that come to the chiropractor for your dad, are there because of like a reason, a problem?
Most of the time.
Not just like,
So they're like, I'm going to try out chiropractor.
Not like some of you just go, just to stay healthy.
I'm like, I want to try it.
Yeah, we do, but we don't really do the personal injury so much anymore. When it comes to stuff like that, I would rather refer that person out to a physical therapist, or unless there's something that a chiropractor could definitely help out with, then we can kind of work in conjunction with a physical therapist.
I see.
But when it comes to what we do, it's a little bit more casual, and it's a little bit more of like, I've got this pain in my back that I keep waking up with, or I've got these chronic headaches or something. And that I can even help with that, because sometimes you get tension headaches, and I can help relieve that in the back of your head, at least temporarily. I'm a big advocate for active therapies. I don't like the idea of just like coming in and getting passive therapies all the time. I think it can be helpful acutely. But I think that doing that in conjunction with exercising and getting your diet on point, I think that if people exercise more and they got their diet more on point, most of their problems wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yep.
But people do need symptomatic relief. So it's like, I feel like I can't exercise because my neck is hurting so bad, and or my lower back is hurting so bad, or I'm getting this crazy sciatic pain down the back of my leg and I can't do anything. So you relieve the symptoms temporarily, and then you can go and exercise. And that's why I want to focus more on that, because I feel like that's the most important part, is the exercise.
Yeah.
So it's like more beneficial for you guys to sell the point of, or just like being awareness. That way, when someone does get injured or have that problem, they know to call you, versus like trying to convince someone to come in monthly for just basic stuff. Yeah.
It's the awareness. It's so the way my dad likes to describe it, it's like having a chiropractor in your family, and it's so affordable that you're like, man, I kind of injured myself while I was exercising.
You come home for a break and they're there, and you're like, all right, I need an adjustment.
I need adjustment. Yeah.
It's like having a barber in the family. You're like, I'm getting a free haircut.
I'm just here to get adjusted real quick.
I like that.
Pinch. Yeah.
It's a good way to,
it's simpler and it's less intimidating. You don't feel like you're going to a doctor's office, and we never wanted that clinical feel to it. We're pretty casual. We don't wear scrubs. Like, I wear this to work, and it's much less intimidating for people to come in and just feel like that they can be seen on the fly when they're experiencing symptoms.
Yeah, just call you up and come in.
Does he make those reels with like the mic and
we tell him he needs to?
So many of them.
Oh my god!
I feel so many.
I feel like we should
get him doing that.
Yeah,
you need to.
I think that's that'll
add that to the list.
Next step.
Media.
It will
get a mic next to the
I
love watching those.
Like the clips that just clip them around. He's like,
I love the quick cuts too, where it's like. Just like over and over.
Right. And then their faces.
They're like, oh.
It's always crazy when you hear those pops where it's like 30 pops in their neck and it's like, could my neck do that? Like,
right.
That's cool. I almost want to go. I need to go in. I've never been to a chiropractor ever.
I've thought about it. I've never done it.
Yeah.
So you probably did it all the time because your dad was, but like, do people that you know, like your friends and stuff now they've been around you and they're familiar with like your dad doing it?
Sometimes.
Are they like more prone to go trying it?
Some of them, I think it really just depends on the person. Like, I feel like I want chiropractic or I need chiropractic, and they'll come and do it. But I think it just, whether they're my friends or not, I think it just depends on the person themselves.
It's like changing the stigma a lot on it. I feel like chiropractors typically have like, at least for my mindset, I have like the old school mindset of what you started describing at the beginning of it being expensive, and it's just like this
treating
this
it like
thing,
it's a
like a doctor's
it's
office.
like a big thing.
Yeah. I don't
not just a quick in and out. Like
I don't like the idea of them being treated like a doctor's office. I think that it should be a little bit more casual than that, and I think that they can help symptomatically. But being treated like this is a doctor's office is not as beneficial.
It's more scary to go into
Scary to go into because it's like you're thinking you're going into a doctor's office to be treated for some illness that you have, and then they're grabbing your neck. And it's like,
yanking
my
your
word.
neck a little bit.
If you keep it a little more casual, like this is a rehabilitative therapy, just like a manual therapy that can help your symptoms. It's like, I'm just here to, let's see what we can do to help your symptoms out. And it's I think it's a way better way of doing things. And then we can teach them and educate them on like, this is acute symptom relief, so that you can go out and do things to be healthier so that these problems don't occur in the future.
Sure. So. No, that's really cool. I love it.
I want to do it.
I know we're getting to the end
He's
here.
got that.
I know. I'm like thinking now. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. Right? Have you seen those Y straps that those chiropractors will use?
Those are a little crazy, but I kind of want to try it.
I really want someone to do the neck one with the towel. Is that it?
That's the Y strap thing.
And then the back one where they like twist you sideways a little bit. They do something to their hips and it's just like,
it's like that one always feels pretty good on me. I always like that one.
And there's one where they're on their stomach where they push like right above their lower back kind of, and they like push down and it makes a crazy pop.
Yeah. There's we get a couple of those power lifters in there.
I feel like if I came in, I'd be like, "Can you try this one?"
Tell them what to do.
You can. You're like, "Well, I feel like I want some." It feels a little freeing to do it.
Yeah.
But we get these guys with the Y strap, and they'll pull on the back of their heads, and they'll feel it in their like tailbone.
Yeah.
It just goes all the way.
Those videos, they're like, "Do you feel it in your butt?" And everyone's always like,
"Oh." Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Can you mess up? Is that a scary part of being?
Can you break someone's neck?
He's been doing it so
Has your dad
long.
ever done that to anyone and they like leave just like?
No. He's pretty experienced. He's been doing it for over 2 decades now, and
whatever. You wouldn't tell us anyways.
It's a secret. Those are secrets.
It's a secret that I don't know. It's a secret for me.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it. And
that's also what I think when I see the videos. I'm like, can you mess up? Because it looks like you can mess up.
Yeah.
Am I gonna?
Well, they go to school for 3 years to make sure that they're not messing up, and then
don't trust the $19 a month guy.
Well, he's the $19 a month guy.
Only $19.
The only $19
a month. If you're getting a job that's unlimited for $19 a month,
that's a problem.
Don't go.
I'd be a little more careful.
Okay, so do you have any advice for someone who's wanting to pursue a dream or a business?
Do what you're passionate about.
Okay.
I feel like there have been times because I just talked to my wife about this last night. There are times that I have felt that I wasn't passionate about the chiropractic side because I didn't study chiropractic. That's not what I went to school for, but it was a way to get this office up. And even since my recent conversation with my wife, I feel way more passionate about merging this into a total, I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's an all-in-one thing where I'm focusing more on exercise and I'm focusing more on performance and nutrition and getting people chronically better. So where they're
thinking bigger picture.
Yeah, thinking bigger picture, and like just the thought of transitioning this more into what I want to do is
That's
helping
important.
me to. It helps on the marketing side of things because I'm excited about it. It helps me on the service, the providing the service thing because I'm excited about it. It's like I feel like during those stagnant months of the business, it's probably because I'm not doing exactly what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I like providing these and I love helping people feel better, but it's not in the exact mode that I want to do it in. Sure. And so if I can provide these so that I can help them in other ways, I'm feeling way more passionate about that. And I feel like that's like when I was personal training out in Boise, I did that for a while and I did really, really well out there because I got excited about it. And it's like, I love doing this.
People could see it when they talk to you.
They can see it.
See the passion.
Yeah. And I love getting to know people one-on-one. I love the science behind training. And so when I get to apply that into the real world, it's way more fun for me than to just be on an administrative part of a business.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Do what you like to do.
Do what you like to do.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's a key thing just in life nowadays is just do what makes you happy.
Yeah. It's
and like to the point that you brought up, do what makes you happy, but like it also has to have a sense of like realism to it.
Exactly.
And it has to work. Like you can have like the biggest dreams, but if it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So like I like what you're saying about finding those other areas in your business to like excite you.
Up. Yeah. It's like
because we've gone through things just like that.
Yeah.
And
I think exactly what you're saying. I think it gets, there's a point where it's like, I love to do this one thing, but I can't start there.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen if I can't start. So I think people get it in their heads over and over and over again. Like, I'm just going to do what I'm passionate about, just going to do what I'm passionate about. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But if you need to find the steps to get you to that point.
Like, so what? Like, what's next?
Like, what's next? There's I have 7 to 10 other steps I have to take before I can even start that.
And then those all have to be done, like beneficial to like keeping this whole thing going.
Yes.
Like
and not just like staying busy, staying busy, but not productive, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
very cool.
So where can people look you up to find you?
My Instagram handle is Muscle Mentor Fitness.
Okay.
And I have a Balanced Health Idaho Instagram account and a Facebook account as well.
Okay.
We may be just transitioning that account over to my Muscle Mentor account because we're just going to probably run it all as one.
Sure.
And I'll just start promoting my local business on my social media, on my regular social media account.
Right. Go where the numbers are.
Go where the numbers are. Yeah. So Muscle Mentor Fitness.
Seriously.
On
Check that
Instagram.
out. Okay.
So
you need some chiropractic work, some training.
Some
Call Brandon.
motivation, some nutrition discipline.
Exactly.
Brandon's a guy.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on our podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Great meeting you.
Super happy to be here.
Okay, thanks everyone. If you made it this far, subscribe, follow.
Yes.
Please and thanks. Means a lot.
Thumbs up, like, follow, all the things like Sarah said.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, bye.